Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you out there, dear astrology friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get into this. Let's get into the full moon in Libra. That's going to happen around and about the 12th of April of 2025. And that means that the moon will be in Libra at 23 degrees and it's going to oppose the sun in Aries in its opposite sign at 23 degrees. We're going to have a look at what this is all about. What is the flavor of this full moon? And then for each and every sign, in particular, where is this full moon falling? As the ruler of this full moon is Venus, and it's making a beautiful trine to Mars, I'm going to have a look at where this falls in your chart as well. So let's get all started. First of all, full moons in Libra, it's always happening around this time of the year. There are a lot about connecting. A lot about connecting, about understanding other people, where they are coming from, versus I'm also doing my own thing. I'm having my independence, which is Aries, versus I want to connect, moon and Libra. So it's that opposition. And as we all know, oppositions are paradoxes and are there to be, not to be resolved, but to get balance between these two. And we know also that full moons are about things that show itself. You could say the result of hard work, the result of the past. But what it really shows is where we are standing with, in this case, in general, we will have a look individually, but in general, this is about relations, this is about connecting. This is about the seventh house, which is the house of Libra, and which is the house of connecting with other people, business partners, and, long-term partners, short-term partners, whatever it is, but how we are having an attitude towards them and towards ourselves. It's a reflection, of course. Now, what is the flavor of this full moon? Well, it happens just before a very important planet, which is called Mercury. Which is called Venus. Sorry. Mercury is already going direct on the 12th of April. But it's going direct, Venus, its ruler. Not on the 12th, but, it depends a little bit where you're living, but around, let's say, the 14th of April, Venus is going to start to go direct again, and it's gaining momentum. So this is huge because it shows things are going to be clear. Full moons are always like that. And because things are going to be clear, we will, in a particular, the ruler of this chart is Venus, and Venus will go direct on the 14th of April in Pisces. So at round and about 24 degrees of Pisces. So these things are going forward. What things? Venusian things. What is Venusian things? Money, investments, value, love, what we care about, what we enjoy. And this Venus is in Pisces. So it's also about our peace, about what we love deep down inside, about art, about creativity, about empathy, and all of that. So we will see that all of these things are going forward, which is a great thing. I mean, Venus going retrograde is a lot about introspection, reflection, and so on. So it's a turning point. The 12th, the 13th, the 14th of April is definitely a turning point where this ruler of this full moon is going direct. So it's a crucial time. Another thing is that when we look at so we already know it's a full moon in Libra. It's about connecting. It's about things going forwards now. We've pondered. We hopefully did a re-evaluation of what we value, which is Venus going retrograde. And now it's going direct again. So things are gaining, I wouldn't say gain a lot of momentum, but things are starting to get forward. We know the direction again. Now, another thing is with this, what else is going on in the sky during this time? Well, Chiron is very important because the sun will be conjuncting Chiron And indirectly, it will oppose Moon. So Chiron opposite Moon, Chiron conjunct the Sun. Now, if you want to know more about Chiron, I put at the end of the video a link to the video, a playlist about Chiron. I mean, old videos, I mean, don't look at how I'm doing the video, I mean, technically, but the content is pretty good. And Chiron is a bit like Saturn, but a bit worse than Saturn. And what I want to say is, yes, Saturn is about reality check and it's about the discipline and the teacher. Well, Chiron is a bit like Saturn, but even a bit more, a bit deeper, you could say. Chiron is about the wounded healer. It's about our wounding. And when Chiron touches planets like this, it's about we getting triggered from our wounding. And of course, this sounds very heavy. I don't want to make it too heavy because it's not. It is what it is. We are all wounded, you know, like in the song, At Wounded Me, You and Me. Oh my goodness, that's an old song. I think it was from the 60s. Anyway, write in the comments if you know this song. Write in the comments. But anyway, I want to make this lighter for a reason because Chiron, yes, it's about a wound that we have and we can never heal it, but we can deal with it. That is, in a nutshell, Chiron. We have wisdom because of it. We can teach others in their path with getting along with some wounding around Sun, which is identity, Moon, which is safety. So these items can come up. Wounding around identity, the Sun conjunct Chiron, wounding around security, the Moon opposite Chiron. Now, don't forget that Saturn is here as well in Pisces, and that Saturn is with even to make it more, but it's not complex because it's very clear here. Saturn here is in Pisces conjoining with Venus during this time. You know, Venus at 24 degrees of Pisces, Saturn is there. It's next to it. So I think 25 degrees, Saturn. Yeah. So Venus is conjunct Saturn. Again, it's a team of Saturn / Chiron. And what is the team? I know people, Saturn and Chiron are not bad. They are not good. They are neutral. But it's up to us what we do with it. So typically, if we have these Chiron things going on, the best way to deal with it is to go through the pain and not escape the pain. So what I mean, and in that way, you gain maturity, you gain an understanding, and you give it a meaning, which is, you know, we all have certain pains in our lives, and everyone deals different. You know, you can have two people with the same background and whatnot, but with a different attitude, mentality, and that's everything. You know, you can have two people who are brought up in a family with maybe, Saturn, Chiron, with a lot of shame, or a parent who was not the best parent ever. And one person deals with it in a negative way, so takes that pain over, that isn't even their pain in the first place, but is not conscious of it, and is going to point the finger, which is a typical Saturnian thing, pointing the finger, they did it, they blame it, or guilt tripping, I did it, and, you know, sabotaging the self. Or you could say, hey, this was tough, but guess what? I'm going to get fuel out of this. I'm going to make it actually my asset rather than a liability, to speak in economical terms. Don't forget that in a former life, I studied economy. But anyway, so it is, it's a lot about seeing things for what it is and knowing that you're a manifester and that it starts with consciousness in the first place. And then, of course, the practice of every single day to work on your mindset, because mindset is everything. And Mercury already is going direct for a couple of days, because on the 8th of April, Mercury already will go direct, also in the sign of Pisces. So we have a bit of a traffic jam there. And so, yes, we can say, oh my goodness, this full moon with Saturn and with Chiron, that's a lot of pain and stress and things going slow, or feeling that, don't fall for that. Yes, it makes a T-square to Mars, so there's gonna be frustration for sure. Mars is in Cancer, and it's squaring up to Libra. It's squaring up to Aries, and I think Mars will be at 27 or 28 degrees, 27 degrees of Cancer. So it makes a perfect square, what we call a T-square, which is tension. But in a good way, tension means change. And the good news, I saved the good news for last, and this is what I'm going to focus on so we can redirect our focus and turn it around like, alchemists. This Mars in Cancer that I was talking about, it's trining that whole bunch of planets in Pisces. So it's trining the ruler of this full moon. Mars is trining Venus. Isn't that lovely? Mars trining Venus. Mars is trining Saturn. Mars is trining the North Node even in Pisces. Mars is trining Mercury. Mercury will be at that time at 28 degrees of Pisces. So we've got a lot of emotional support, we could say. Pisces is water sign. Mars in Cancer is a water sign. So we're going to have a look at where this eclipse is falling and where things become very clear when it comes to connecting. Right? It can be a connecting with a child. It can be connecting with a workplace. It can be connecting with a person. We're going to look at that, but and we know that there might be some tension there, but we're going to look at this is becoming very clear. And because this is very clear, we're going to work in a creative way with a very balanced give and take. When we have a Mars trine Venus, this is all about the give and take. This is the masculine and the feminine working. It flows. Together, it flows. Giving, taking, it's equal. That's Mars trine Venus. It's amazing. It's amazing. And Mars is in the sign of the moon, right? So this full moon is a lot about this energy that is trying to replace balance. It's trying to restore balance, basically. And it's an important time. Again, don't think that all of it will become clear around the 12th of April. But what we surely know is that don't escape the pain, see it for what it is, and transform it. And you've got tools like being creative, being giving and taking energy. Don't take too much, don't give too much, make sure it's equal, and off we go. So it's an energy of maturity around relationships. That's how I'm seeing it. Maturity around relationships. If you remember one thing out of this whole video, it's that we're going towards maturity in relationships. That's Saturn and Chiron with all of this. And a lot of healing can occur because of relationships, because of what comes up, and it might be triggering, but if we're not running away from the trigger, we deal with it. And that makes us stronger. It is what it is. Of course, if you cannot deal with a trigger, then that is the case. I mean, we will deal with it and at another time. I mean, no one is at the same evolution when it comes to consciousness. We can only be conscious of what we are conscious of and use the tools that we have at the particular moment, which is also being very caring towards ourselves. But anyway, consciousness can't go backwards. Having said that, let's have a look very shortly but precise what is going on in our chart. For Aries, this is your relationships, right? This is all about you because something comes up and is very clear when it comes to your personal relationship, your romantic relationship, a business relationship. Things are coming clear here. And that rule of Venus is in the 12th and it's trining in the 4th Mars. So this could mean that you felt that you had to give too much and that there is no balance anymore and that there is a restoration of that, which is a beautiful thing, and that you feel more emotionally supported from yourself, from within, and even from, you could say, because the 12th house is also the connection with what we don't see. It's like our subconscious. So there is a restoration of the balance for sure. But what you're seeing in those relationships coming up, see is at the truth. Don't run away from the truth. It's all that I want to say to the Aries people. Taurus, this is in your 6th house. So this is for you, this full moon. It's for you a lot about your day-to-day life, your work, your health, your lifestyle. Something becomes pretty clear there. And the ruler, Venus, is in the 11th house going direct. So because things come clear, you have now more power and strength to have new goals in your life. And this 11th house goes well with your 3rd house because there is Mars. Mars is in the 3rd, Venus is in the 11th, and having that beautiful trine. Fantastic for social endeavors, fantastic for networking, fantastic if you have your own business. Go out there, go to social activities and whatnot. Have new goals for the future. You see clearer now. But it might be because something comes up in your day-to-day life that becomes very clear. Accept it for what it is. Geminis, this is a very nice full moon for you. Why? It's happening in your 5th house in a fellow air sign. So this for you is a better energy. You're one of the better ones, so to speak, together with Aquarians, because you are that air sign. So something comes up in the area of children, hobbies, personal activities that have to do with how you treat them as a baby, investments, the things that you love to do, the hobbies and all of that. Something becomes very clear. And because of that, Venus goes direct in your 10th house and trines Mars in your 2nd house. So this is good for income. This is good for career. This is good for you getting a raise, or if you work for yourself, to get that upgrade in career, to get that. This is very material. You can materialize a lot of improvements financially because of work as well, and it has a link with your 5th house because you live more from the heart chakra, which is beautiful. It could also mean because of things become clear in the love area, things become very clear to you, and because of that, it has a knock-on effect on your value. Cancerians, this is in the 4th house. So this is a very important full moon for you with a lot of tension, right? Because you're one of the fellow cardinal signs. So it kind of highlights your whole chart. But it's in the 4th house. So that means that something is now very clear that has to do with your 4th house, which is literally your ancestors, your family, your home. So something has come very clear. You know, it's Saturn and Chiron. It could have caused pain. It could have caused, that you had to be extremely mature and being your own parent almost. But the thing is, the positivity that you can, or the energy that you can use here, because of Venus, the ruler is in the 9th house, it trines Mars in your 1st house. So it means that your belief system, there's an opportunity to shift it. There's also an opportunity if you want to do business abroad, if you want to work internationally, if you want to invest abroad as well, because the 9th house is the house of international affairs. So it could also mean a relationship abroad that is really going forwards now, a personal relationship, and that's very nice. Leos, this is happening in your 3rd house. So Libra is a sextile to your energy. This is fairly good energy for you. This means that something in your day-to-day thinking, in your day-to-day communication becomes very clear. Something becomes very clear in the area that has to do with siblings, that has to do with neighbors. Things are really showing themselves as they are. And it might be a bit painful or serious conversations because of Saturn and Chiron there, but the ruler of it, Venus, is in the 8th house and it's trining the 12th house where Mars is. So this is a lot about hidden stuff. It could be things that you're not showing, emotions that you're not showing, whatever it is, you will feel more supported. You will feel more understood because of your own psychological understanding. And because the help that you get, people are the emotional support that you feel when people are already deceased, loved ones, and you feel their energy. That's very 8th house here. And there is support. There is support. And it has to do with the communication that comes through, and you feel that nurturing here. Very beautiful. Things that has to do with money that you share with other people, inheritances, tax returns, investments. You could attract money here. And secretly, you've been working on this almost. You could name it like this. And with secretly, I mean you don't tell anyone. Sometimes that's a good thing, right? To don't tell anyone, because people sometimes, if we have ideas, they say, what the heck? And they drag us down. Virgos, this is happening in your 2nd house. So Libra is your 2nd house. Something becomes very clear around your value, around your money, the money that you earn. And for the better or for worse, it can become very clear that, yes, now I have a better, because of the things I did in the past, I have a better security system. I have maybe a new stream of income or whatever. Or the opposite. You're realizing, that job that I'm doing, they're doing a reorganization, and next year I'm not going to have a job anymore. Maybe that is the case, but whatever it is, it prompts you into this Venus trine Mars thing from the 7th house where Venus is, trining the 11th house where Mars is, which can mean, if you do your own business, it's business partners. It could mean connecting with others. It could also mean more clients, new clients, things go forwards for you. Don't forget that the 11th house is a 2nd house from the 10th, which is a financial house if you have your own business. So this could mean, it goes up. It goes up because you shifted something with the financial or the finances. You attract more people, you attract more money, you attract more connecting. If it's not that, if you say, I don't work for myself, then it has to do with your networking. It has to do with new connections that can give you a lot of support, even if it's just emotional support, a lot of support. Librans, this is for you. The whole intro was for you. So something becomes very clear about you. And it's Saturn. It's like, this is it, how would I say, it's very realistic. And the ruler of it, your ruler, which is also your ruler, is in the 2nd house, trining Mars in the 10th house. So this can help you a lot with work, with earning more money, with having more of a good time and enjoying yourself with the work that you do. So these things can really flow now, or flow better than ever before, because you have shifted. You have shown who you are. You have shown your true self. They have shown their true self. You know where you're standing, and it's up to you. And Libras like it when they know that they can choose, and they know that, because they know they did a lot of reassessing. And don't forget, your ruler goes direct, which in itself is already amazing. You feel already lighter in your day-to-day life, and also with your health, things can go better now because of what you did before. Scorpios, this is happening in your 12th house, this full moon. So what really is now highlighted is the unconscious. And I hope that for you, you have an understanding now, a better understanding of who you are on that deeper level, because it's so important that we get to know that subconscious part of us, because it has all those beliefs. And it might have highlighted for you a limiting belief because of the Saturn and the Chiron there. But whatever it is, with this full moon, you can let it go. And it probably, most likely, it was a belief that was inherited from parents, from ancestry, because the 12th house is also karma and karmic connections. And the beauty is that Venus, the ruler of this full moon in the 5th, is trining your ruler, your ancient ruler Mars in the 9th. What is this all about? This is about your heart chakra. This is about this Venus in Pisces for you, Scorpio. This is a grand trine that is happening here. So that means opportunities for love. Oh, for sure. Trining Mars in the 9th, go travel. You could meet someone there. It can also mean opportunities around entertainment, around international affairs, around projects that you're doing, creative projects, very passionate, creative, artistic even. If you are artistic, this could really mean something very, very positive. It can also mean children, that children are going to maybe go to college or they're studying and whatnot, and that has a really positive effect on your heart chakra. So things go forward in the heart chakra, which is nice. Sagittarians, this is a sextile to your energy and it's happening in your 11th house. So here you're going to see what is going on here with friends or a friend circle, or maybe one friend or a goal. You have that goal here, and it's showing what it is, for better or for worse. You know, it's Saturn and Chiron here. But whatever it is, because of these things becoming very clear to you, it's goals and it's friends. It's that area, right? The 11th house. On another level, if you have your own business, it's also the money that you earn from your business is also the 11th house, the second house from the 10th house. So there's something that comes up here that is realistic, that because of the past that you did, again, for better or for worse, it shows up here. And because of that, Venus in the 4th house is trining Mars in the 8th. This can mean investing, real estate, or not necessarily real estate, but investing. And something really comes up that, because it's Venus, it's attractive. It attracts. It attracts. My tenses. It attracts. So Venus in the 4th trining that Mars in the 8th. That is beautiful. Definitely these two rulers that are going forwards now, it's about you, emotion, even if it has nothing to do with finances. It's in water planets, so it's in water signs. So this is you feeling more secure than ever because of also help from, you know, a spouse or a girlfriend, boyfriend of others, or their income, or income from a return of an investment, a tax return, money that you gain, a loan that has ended, whatever it is. There is here this very positive energy here, emotionally, but also on a money level. Capricorns, the 10th house, this is the top of your chart. So this is important. You're a cardinal sign, so you're going to feel tension here. But the tension is there to show you how it truly is, so that you can shift, and that you can shift in a positive way. In what kind of way? When it comes to your connections. Why? Because the 10th house is work and career. It's, if you're not working, not career, it's the top of your chart. It's a bit like an ascendant. It's your social status. It's also parents. So that could be coming up here that is really, really down to earth and real, for better or for worse. In parents, maybe they go through some changes and it has an effect on you, or career and whatnot. Things become very clear. You've got the information here, the missing piece, so to speak. And that has a knock-on effect with Venus in the 3rd house going direct in Pisces and trining the 7th house where Mars in Cancer is. So this could mean a new relationship, or a relationship that really goes now more fluently than ever. It's also, when you have your own business, fantastic, because this means a lot of communication, a lot of emails, a lot of clients, a lot of social awareness and growth, if you want. But also, if you have a connection and a relationship, or you haven't, this is good for getting one, or for making one stronger. Aquarians, you're one of those signs, just like the Geminis, that this is a very nice energy for you, very fluently, because you are making what we call in astrology a big trine with your Aquarian energy, trining the Libra energy, right? With the moon there, and also trining widely Jupiter in Gemini. So you are the luckiest one of the 12. I mean, of course, there are going to be Aquarians who are, this is not a personal horoscope, but in general, this is so, how would you say, auspicious? Because it's your ninth house that this is happening, this full moon. What is the ninth house? Is belief system. So something becomes very clear around your belief system, and with Saturn and Chiron, it may be as if you are a student, something becomes clear now. It depends on what you did before. If you didn't do anything. But let's hope, with the trine and all of that, that it's a positive thing and that you worked hard. Then this can mean a conclusion here like, oh, you had that upgrade. Of course, not every Aquarian is a student. So on another level, this could have to do also with international affairs. If you work for yourself, for instance, and you're having a company and it works internationally, or you publish, writing, but for most of you, it's your belief system. Something has shifted, something has become very real, and that's going to have a knock-on effect on your material world because Venus is in your second house of your finances and it trines Mars in the sixth house of your work. So something might have shifted now because both Venus and Mars go direct in houses where they went backwards. So it's a lot of, you could say, renewal energy and a lot of moving forward in the direction of work, in the direction of your confidence, in the direction of your health as well. So there are a lot of improvements here. And there could be a windfall, for sure. Pisces, last but not least, this is happening in your 8th house. So this is a hidden house. This is the house of transformation. And these things, when these things happen, a full moon there, it means a very big transformation has taken place. And mostly transformations don't happen like you're sitting in the chair and, ooh, nice transformation. So mostly it's because of the past, there were things that shifted and you had to deal with that. The good thing is that Venus goes direct in your sign, right? Venus is in Pisces, and it trines the 5th house where Mars is. So for single Pisceans, this is good for relationships, but for relationships in general. They go forward, but all in all, it's also about you feeling creative, you feeling that your heart chakra is open, you feeling that things go forward in your life when it comes to your I wanted to say esprit. So what is your spirit? The spirit is so important. You could say you can't see it, but it's an energy. So you will feel energized because of this transformation is done. Whatever it was for you, for some Pisceans, it was, buying or selling a home or buying a home. It was something big, a transformation or a relationship. And now you feel all free. You can go forwards. Children, projects, hobbies, they go forwards again. And this is a good sign. So for Pisceans, they will feel very supported in their creative endeavors. If you are very creative, this is amazing. This is amazing energy. You will feel a lot of attraction of others because Venus in your sign now goes direct and you will feel more in the flow. So a good time when Venus goes direct to, change something about your looks that you feel very enjoyable. It could mean a haircut or maybe a new garderobe or whatever. A tan, maybe you're going on a holiday and, because just that, you feel much more on fire. Anyways, whatever it is, it's a very beautiful energy for you after a time where you made that transition. Anyway, having said that, thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you all the best and see you next time. Bye bye.